All right. Well, Lauri, welcome to the podcast. We kind of just jump right into it. And I have a bajillion questions to ask you on all things dream. So I'm really excited for this. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
I love it. For those of my listeners who might not know of what you do or who you are, can you give me a little breakdown on what exactly it means to be a dream expert as you are?
Yes, so I am a professional dream analyst. And what that
Mhm.
means is I help my clients understand the very bizarre, complex dreams they have at night, what they mean, how the dream is connected to your current waking life. Every single part of the dream has a meaning and is connected to something. And I also, together with the client, we work through the message that they are giving themselves through the dream, because dreams are basically a conversation with the self. Like
Mhm.
my motto is dreams are messages from you to you about you in order to improve you.
Mm, that's beautiful. I
Thank
love
you.
that. Yeah, and I'm excited to get into all of things dreams, but I was listening to quite a few episodes that you've been on before and doing some research. And I loved how connected we actually are without realizing it, and how the body, the mind, whatever it is that's causing dreams sends us messages. And I just find it so fascinating.
Yes.
So I'm sure it's really exciting work what you do. So I want to get into all that. But before we do, I'm going to ask you my two initial questions. The
Okay.
first one is of the theme of sharing. So sharing an object either from your nightstand, surprising, or with an interesting backstory. So anything kind of comes to mind when I say those three options.
Okay, so I have a lot. The first thing I went with was what I keep on my nightstand, so I brought it down here, and it's my Dr. Oz mug,
Ah.
which was given to me the fourth time I was a guest on his show, and it was interesting only in that particular time he had moved over to NBC, and they were in the process of redoing that whole area, and his studio was right next to where they shoot Saturday Night Live.
Mhm.
And so because of all the reconstruction they were doing, I got to stay in the Roots dressing room.
Oh my God, how amazing was it?
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's
And
awesome.
Jimmy Fallon's dressing room was right next door. I didn't
Oh,
see him, but
yeah.
it was a cool experience.
You're breathing the same air that he breathes.
Yes, right?
That's so cool. I think what's interesting is that when you're analyzing dreams, you get to analyze all these different people. So I'm curious, when you're
Yeah.
analyzing celebrities or working with people like
Mhm.
Dr. Oz, do you find that there's a through line that we all kind of dream about the same things? Or are we all just extremely different when it comes to our dreams?
A lot of our dreams are personal to us due to our own personal experiences and associations, but we
Mhm.
do all, celebrities as well as us normies alike, all have common dreams,
Uh-huh.
like the falling dream, the being chased, naked in public dreams. And
Mm,
these are all such common themes for everyone across the board because they're connected to common waking life issues that we all deal with just as having the human experience. So, for example, the being naked in public dream happens when in real life we're dealing with a situation where we're feeling all eyes are on us, we're feeling judged or scrutinized, and we're feeling very self-aware and concerned about how others may view us. Like
mhm,
I got that dream the first night before I was ever on national television. I got that dream, for example.
mhm.
But the interesting thing about that dream is you may notice that while you're freaking out about your nudity and trying to hide everything, no one else in the dream cares. You're the
Mhm.
only one freaking out. And the reason why is because the subconscious is telling you, you're the only one giving this energy. No one else cares. No one else sees what you think they see.
I love that because on the surface, it seems like that's terrifying. I'm naked. I'm going to show
Mhm.
up in public naked, or I'm going to go on TV and something bad's going to happen. But there's that lower layer that you get to unfold, which is really cool. That's like, actually, no, it's
Yeah.
your subconscious reminding you that that's okay and you don't need
Yeah.
to
No one
stress the way
cares
you
but
are.
you. Let it go.
Love that. Yeah. So be naked in public. It's
Yep.
fine. Do it. Um,
In your head.
in your head. Yeah. It depends. You can find a naked nude beach somewhere.
Yes, there's
Um,
always, like-minded people.
yeah, maybe. Last question on that. Anything that's been on your heart or mind lately? It can be related to your work with dreams, or it could be just anything
Okay, so
lately.
I'm going to do probably what is on yours and many as well lately is the Johnny Depp trial.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Have you been so absorbed in that as well?
I have been, but like I've been fed it from scrolling through TikTok, and
Yeah.
I've been wanting someone to kind of break it down for me and explain to me what exactly is going on. So shoot, what's going on?
So they divorced back in 2016, I believe, because she claimed he was abusing her.
Mhm.
And he clearly was not. The trial is proving this. And he is now suing her for defamation because of an op-ed she wrote for the Washington Post. She never named him, but it was very, very obvious. The article was about him, and he is claiming that that's why he lost the Pirates of the Caribbean Part 5 movie.
Mm.
So the reason why it's on my heart and mind is because it is shining a light on domestic violence and how
Mhm.
men can be abused as well. And that's close
Mhm.
to my heart because someone I care very, very much about who as a man was abused.
Mm.
And it happens, and both genders are equally abusive. Um, it's not exclusive to just the
Yeah.
male being the abuser. And also on top of that, the worst human I've ever known in my life, who was a liar and an abuser, was a female. So
Mm.
it's, this is shining light on it.
Yeah. It's a great way to look at things like that are so sad. And especially for this one being so public, and
Yes.
his whole life is now everywhere and people are analyzing it. And it's really
Yeah.
fascinating. But then if you really think about it, like, these are human beings and something that really terrible that happened. So
Yes. And you do need to seek justice.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I find it fascinating. And thank you for breaking that down, because I was like, I just need like a good quality breakdown of what's going on.
I hope I was clear in my
Yeah,
explanation.
no, you were. And I hope whoever your friends were that were affected by that they're okay and away from that situation now. That's terrible.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, shining that light is so nice. And hopefully will help other people down the road now that they've
Yeah. And
seen.
and men don't speak up because it's particularly embarrassing
Mm-hmm.
for men. And
Absolutely.
hopefully they will start speaking up.
Amazing. There you go, Johnny Depp. Okay.
Justice for Johnny.
Justice for Johnny. Let's get into dreams. I have a ton of questions for you. And then I want to break down some of my listeners' questions because they have tons of great dream examples. So first,
Okay.
what is a dream? Why do we dream? What's going on with our brains when we're dreaming? Please break that down for me.
So dreaming is basically a thinking process. So as you go about your day, you're talking to yourself, right? You're driving to work, you're talking to yourself, you're loading your dishwasher, you're talking to yourself, you're taking your shower, you're talking to yourself. That stream of consciousness, that inner dialogue continues throughout the entire day. As you drift off to sleep at night, you're having your thoughts, talking to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That stream continues when we fall asleep. Once we enter REM dream sleep, which is about 90 minutes into the night, is when we get our first dream. We dream several times throughout the night. Once we enter REM dream sleep, that conversation picks back up, but now the brain is working differently. Certain parts of the brain are shut down, like the prefrontal cortex that controls rational linear thought has shut down, and other parts of the brain are more active, like the amygdala, the emotional center of the brain. So you're still having that conversation with yourself, but now instead of talking to yourself in words, you're talking to yourself in symbols and metaphors and emotions. And you're talking to yourself about what's going on in your life. Your dreams are like a commentary on what happened today.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll slap us in the face when we're messing up, hence the nightmare. They'll nag us to death when we're not listening to ourselves, hence the recurring dream.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll inspire us and they'll warn us, and it's the deepest form of introspection you can have, which is what dreaming is.
Question for me is like, a lot of times that inner voice can turn really negative, or if you have like really bad self-talk. So I'm wondering if that through line goes into your dreaming as well. Like, does that lead to a nightmare, or when is that negative voice happening? What's going on in dreams when that continues?
That's a very good question. And the way you talk to yourself and the way you think of yourself will show up in your dreams. So you are more likely to have more negative, frustrating dreams and even nightmares if you are always talking badly to yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, if because the dream is the reaction to the day. So whatever goes on during the day, the dream is a commentary, a reflection of that.
I'm so fascinated on how you got into this work, how you became the dream analyst that you are. Were you just like really interested in your own dreams? What is the study of dreams? Like, how does that work?
So what got me into it? Well, I've always been able to remember my dreams since I was like 2, 3 years old. I've always been a very vivid dreamer, just very interested in my dreams. I would tell my parents in the morning when I was little. Then I started drawing them. As I got older and learned to write, I'd write them down. And I didn't realize what a really amazing thing I was doing for myself by journaling my dreams. Because basically what you're doing when you journal your dreams is you're documenting the other side of your mind. So I've been keeping dream journals forever. And it wasn't until I was 19 and my grandfather died, and he's the first person close to me that ever died. And I loved him. We were very close. And I became very, very depressed after his death. And it was about 2 weeks afterwards. And I had this dream where he and I are walking arm in arm through this museum. And I knew he was dead. So I asked him, "What is it like where you are?" And he said, "Well, I can't tell you that, but what I can tell you is that it's secure." And then he gave me a hug and he started walking up the staircase, and I began to wake up and I could smell his Old Spice.
Wow.
I could feel him like he was sitting next to me. And I just sat in that dream for what seemed like a very long time, just trying to absorb it and come to reality from it, So in that dream, I still remember it, every little detail, like it was last night, So that's the dream that got me out of my depression, for one thing, after his death. And it's the one that propelled me to study dream psychology. I wanted to find out, okay, what is this? Because all my dreams have always been really cool, but that one was wow. So I wanted to find out why do we do it? What is it? What I learned was that dreams are actually very, very practical when you can understand them, and when you can, and they're very applicable to your life when you understand the message. And so when you start working with your dreams and start journaling them, which I can't stress enough, when you start journaling them, you're opening up not just a conversation between yourself and your subconscious, but you're also beginning a partnership with yourself and your subconscious to start improving yourself, to start listening to yourself, to start being honest with yourself, and to start, becoming the you're meant to be, because your dreams are like your inner GPS, guiding you, helping you navigate this crazy life.
I'm wondering what you found out about that dream you had. That's such a beautiful dream that you got to experience. Was there anything that you found out from what you've learned?
Well, what I've learned most about that dream wasn't when I was studying dream psychology. I learned more about it and confirmed to myself that it was contact through just doing this all these years and talking to hundreds, if not thousands, of people who've had very similar experiences about their loved ones, and how the contact dream, of course, this is not proven, but the contact dream can be a means of communicating with those that have passed on. And here's why I think it's possible, not only because I've experienced it and it was so very, very real, but science teaches us that all energy exists and travels in a vibration, in waves, sound waves, light waves. Even our brain works, the energy of our brain works in wavelengths. When we go to sleep and enter REM dream sleep, our brains could be working at that perfect frequency where we can tune in to that consciousness. If it exists, bodily death, it exists as an energy, and it is also existing and traveling in waves. So REM dream sleep could be our brains being that perfect frequency where we can tune in like a radio to the conscious energy of our loved ones that have passed on.
I remember having somewhat of a similar dream when my grandpa passed as well. He was down in Florida at the time, and we lived in Virginia. And I didn't know that he was like close to passing. My parents kind of kept it a secret or didn't let us know because we were younger and didn't want to like worry us or whatever. So all of his kids were down there to when he took his final breaths. But I remember having a dream that night of him visiting me, and like I don't remember exact details, but I hadn't known that he was passing until the next day. So yeah, I totally see how that can be.
I've heard that sort of dream as well. Because, my dream happened after, obviously I knew he was dead, but I have heard from so many people like you who've had that very same experience. A loved one died and they didn't know it. And it seemed like at the moment or somewhere around the time their loved one died, they had a dream that their loved one was coming through and saying, "Hey, I'm okay." I'm
Yeah.
still here. Do you remember what your grandfather said or did in your dream?
I think it was just more of like a calming feeling. It was like, I can't remember the exact details because I was pretty young, but it was just like he was still with me kind of a vibe, or he was just
Yeah.
like visiting and like checking in on me
Yep.
almost. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was a happy dream. It was just
Yes.
very interesting. My dad was like, whoa, that's wild. But yeah,
Yeah.
I've definitely heard of quite a few stories of that. Fascinating. I want to get into the different types of dreams there are, because there's nightmares, there's
Yes.
lucid dreaming, there's
Mhm.
sleepwalking, all those different types. So like, what are the different common types, and like what are each of those kind of mean?
Okay, so the most common types of dreams are recurring dreams, nightmares, sex dreams.
Mm,
There's precognitive dreams, which tend to show us a little glimpse of the future. There's problem-solving dreams. There's healing dreams. We get these when we're going through grief.
mm-hmm,
And there's warning dreams, which are dreams that can be giving us a heads up about something going on with our body,
mm,
something health-wise. And
that's
lucid dreaming,
fascinating.
as you mentioned. Lucid dreaming, oh, it's the coolest. Have you had a lucid
Yeah,
dream?
I don't think I have, but that's the one where you can kind of change what's happening in the dream
Yeah.
consciously.
Yes. It's where you have the
Interesting.
awareness while in the dream that you are dreaming.
Mm,
And then you can take control of it. And now a lot of people become lucid naturally within a nightmare because
mm-hmm.
whatever's going on is so scary, it triggers lucidity. And then people use that, oh, I'm awake, I'm going to get the hell out of this thing. And they
Yeah.
wake themselves up, which is a shame because what they
Yes.
should be doing is stay in that nightmare and get information from it and ask that axe
Mm-hmm.
murderer or whatever a question. Say,
Interesting.
who are you in my real life? And you're going to get an answer.
Wow. Yeah, I want to tap into dreams more, because I think what happens, especially with nightmares and things like that, they seem scary, and
Mhm.
like we don't want to keep experiencing it because maybe it'll come true or whatever that is. But yeah, I think it's a whole other side that we can tap into that
Yeah,
a
it
lot of us aren't
is
utilizing.
your most powerful part of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's your dreams, and nightmares in particular are the most important dreams of all because they are usually connected to our most upsetting and difficult issues.
Mm,
And they're alerting us, they're shining a light on and trying to help us with that which is wrong so we can
mm-hmm.
correct it, make it right. And then when you listen to the nightmare and you dig into it and connect it to the upsetting, difficult issue, and you correct, or even just starting to work on correcting the issue can make the nightmare stop.
Hmm. And I'm sure that affects whatever the nightmare is relating to in your actual life too.
Yeah, you want to live your life in a way that you don't get nightmares or that you don't give the nightmare reason to come back. Because if you
Mm.
correct the issue, the nightmare has no reason to come back and bother you.
Huh. Fascinating. Sleep paralysis. This is what I had quite often, and it's terrifying because you feel like
Yes.
at the time when I was in sleep paralysis, I thought I was being possessed. Like I thought it was
Yeah.
like that
Yes.
and this is an exorcism. I need to go to a church and remove the demon. But yeah, it's very scary. And my
Mhm.
fiance was talking about one he experienced when he was younger, was I think you've mentioned this before, but it's like a dark figure standing over your bed. I
Yes.
think the Netflix documentary is Nightmares, what it's called, but
Oh,
it's basically all on night terrors. I think that's
not
what
to
it.
name drop, but Kelly Ripa was telling me about
I love Kelly Ripa.
that. She's
Word.
great. Yeah. So, sleep paralysis, and people ask me about this all the time. And it
Hmm.
is, like you said, is a very, very, very frightening experience. And so, what it is for your listeners that don't know and are wondering if they've ever had it, and most people have had it at least once, where you're in your bed and you're not real sure if you're dreaming or not,
Hmm.
and you cannot move, and there's usually something that feels like a dark, sinister presence in the room.
Yeah.
Some people, like you, perceive it as a demon, some perceive it as a ghost, some as an alien,
Hmm.
um, and you'll either like feel it sit on the bed or maybe even hold you down.
Yeah, it's the holding down one that's really
Yeah. Okay.
scary.
And sometimes you might even hear it whisper in your ear or something, and you try to scream. You
Hmm.
cannot get your voice out. You cannot move to get it off you. It's horribly, horribly frightening. It also feels painful sometimes.
Yeah.
But then, like that, you're out of it. And so, what is really going on when you have sleep paralysis is the waking up and the falling asleep process is actually very complicated. There's a lot of things going on in the brain and in the body that are turning off and turning on in order to allow us to fall asleep and also to allow us to again wake back up. When we have a fitful night of sleep, or our sleep routine is really off, or we haven't gotten enough sleep, we can get stuck in the in-between state of asleep and awake at the same time. It's called hypnagogia. So first of all, what happens when we enter the dream state, our brain releases a chemical through our brainstem to paralyze our skeletal muscles so we don't get up and act out the dream. It's a built-in safety mechanism. And when we start to wake up, before our body can catch up, we get stuck briefly in the in-between state, hypnagogia. And you are still paralyzed. You are literally paralyzed when this happens. And it's a hallucinatory state as well, because the fear center, the amygdala, the fear center, is highly active. So it's scary. It's hallucinatory, which is why you see or sense a presence, and why you may also have auditory hallucinations. And it's perfectly harmless. It will not hurt you at all. It's just a byproduct of not getting good sleep. And if you just relax, if you know what it is, you just relax, you'll be over it in no time. But I like to tell people, when you experience this, see if you can turn it into a lucid dream, because you're pretty much in the same state.
Yeah.
And, ask that dark figure in your room, what are you? And I had this morning show in Modesto I used to do frequently. I told the DJ about that because he would get it a lot. As a morning show host, he get up at 3 a.m. You don't sleep.
Yeah.
So the next time he experienced it, he remembered what I told him, and his little dark presence, he always perceived it as the Sandman in Star Wars. So the next time he experienced it, he asked them, what are you? And they said, we are your sins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he decided he wasn't going to do that again.
Yeah, he's like, we have a lot to unpack here. I got to call my therapist.
Right.
Wow, that's fascinating. I've noticed I get sleep paralysis more if I'm napping.
Yeah,
it's that lighter sleep. It's so fascinating.
Yeah, because you're staying in the lighter stages. You aren't getting deep enough into delta.
I'm wondering if there's a way that we can harness our dreams better. Like, we want to dive into this more. We want to maybe remember our dreams better, or how to utilize our dreams more. Like, now that we consciously can be aware of them, what's something that we can do to, work on our dreams?
Right. So like I mentioned earlier, you want to start a partnership with your dreams, because they are your partner in life. They are your built-in therapist, your built-in best friend, who's going to tell you like it is, whether you like it or not. So the key is to start remembering them. And we all dream every single night, whether you remember it or not. You are dreaming. It is natural, necessary function of the brain. Every 90 minutes we dream. So on a good night, you can have 5 or more dreams. The key to remembering them is actually quite easy. Whenever you wake up, whether it's in the middle of the night to go pee or waking up for good in the morning, you need to stay put and stay in the exact same position you woke up in, because that is the position your body was in when you were dreaming. Give yourself 3 to 5 minutes of quiet, still time. This is a magical time where you're just emerging from that dream state where all kinds of cool things were going on. So if you move your body at this point, rolling over or even just turning the light on, that's going to unplug you from the dream you were just in literally seconds ago. So you got to stay put, quiet your mind, give yourself 3 to 5 minutes, sit in the quietness, and let the dream come back to you. And then whatever you remember, you've got to write it down or record it to your phone. Even if you're just remembering there's a song on your mind, that's probably because it was part of your dream, or you just remember seeing something about a dog. Great. Write it down. The more you do this every morning, it's like a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it gets. And you'll start remembering all your dreams every night. And you will have a treasure trove of information waiting for you when you wake up in the morning.
That's so true. I do remember being in a nightmare multiple times. If I'm say I'm laying on my side and I have a nightmare, I have to flip over, and then usually I'll have a different nightmare. If I stay where I am,
different one.
Or a different dream where, like, if I stay in the same one, I'll be in the nightmare, and I don't want that anymore. So if I flip, it'll get me in a different path, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow.
That mind-body connection. So.
It's so interesting. I think what your work has made me realize that dreaming is not scary, because I think a lot of times it can be scary. Like, I have some really crazy dreams and I'm like, what was going on?
They can make you wonder about yourself.
Yeah. You're like, am I a psychopath? Yeah. That's fascinating.
We all are when we're dreaming, but it's important to remember that, first of all, dreams are symbolic. So if you look at it literally, you're going to miss the message, number one. And number two, you're probably going to freak yourself out. So it's symbolic. And number two, morals don't always apply because they're symbolic. It's like if you're marrying your brother, you know, and it seems perfectly normal in the dream. Well, it seems normal in the dream because it's symbolic.
Okay.
So it's not really about marrying your brother. It's about connecting with or committing to something that your brother represents.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you don't look at the dream, you look into it.
Okay.
So it's not your brother. It's about something, a quality of his or something that stands out to you about him is what your brother's the face of that.
Okay. I don't know if I should bring this up or not, but I had a dream one time that was really weird that I had sex with my dad.
Okay, so perfect dream.
I was like afraid to tell anyone this, but
this is the perfect dream to illustrate my point. Great. So thank you for offering that up.
Yeah, very brave of you. A lot of shame around this one, so I've had it.
Okay, so how long ago did you have that dream?
I want to say it was like a month or so ago.
Oh, okay,
it wasn't too long ago. Yeah.
When it's recent, it's easier to get the message because it'll be connected to something fresh. Okay, so is there any other detail in the dream? Like, was it weird to you in the dream?
It was weird to me in the dream. It wasn't like it wasn't consensual in the dream, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. So have you, around the time of that dream, had you had any kind of important conversation with your father? Anything like that? Anything you were concerned about with him?
I think our main thing usually is like him wanting more things for me career-wise than I need, or like he wants one thing for my career, sees it going one way where I like need what I need for my career and what I'm doing. That makes sense.
Okay. So in this case, I think that your father does represent himself. Usually our fathers will represent our ability to make money and manage money. So there's probably an element of that as well, because I'm sure he's trying to help you with that. But also he sounds like he tries to be involved in your career and guide you. And that's why sexual assault, because that is actually about control. So when we get that sort of dream, it's usually because in real life, someone is trying to manipulate or control us. So this was just your negative response to him being a bit of a busybody in your affairs.
Okay.
When he was probably trying to connect with you. Because this is another thing about how dreams are symbolic. Sex in a dream is rarely about sex at all. It's not about a physical union you want, but more about a psychological you need or some kind of psychological connection you have had.
Okay.
So the act of sex in this sense with you and your father was him trying to connect with you on this level, but to you, it felt like he was pushing himself on you, which he was. He was pushing his thoughts and desires for your career onto you.
Fascinating. Well, thank you for making
You're welcome.
Unpacking that. Wow. Yeah. I think that makes total sense with what we usually go through with our dynamic is with career wise.
Tell him you're giving me nightmares. Stop.
Yeah, no more of that. Amazing. I wanted to ask you one more thing on that. I've noticed with dreaming, whenever I've like maybe consumed alcohol that evening or I've taken melatonin, that they are very vivid and crazy. So is that a bad thing to be dreaming or taking those substances before bed? Like what's happening when dreams are like super vivid like that from maybe external things, from like eating late or alcohol or melatonin or anything like that?
Yeah. So different things can affect the way we dream and the tone of the dream. Now, usually alcohol will suppress dream recall. So it's interesting that yours are more vivid. These may happen, though, more in the beginning of the night when you've had alcohol, whereas later in the night, you probably don't sleep as well.
Yeah.
So, and melatonin can also affect, there's so many things that can affect the REM cycle, like peanut butter too close to bedtime can cause frustrating or very negative dreams, spicy foods as well. So that's not to say that the meaning, it changes the message or the meaning of the dream. It just maybe changes the tone of it. So maybe, for example, with peanut butter giving us nightmares or bad dreams, your subconscious may still be trying to give you the same message, but because your body is affected by it, the heartburn and the trying to digest it and the sugar in it and the blood sugar drop and all that's going on from the peanut butter, your subconscious is still trying to give you the same message, but now it's giving it to you kind of yelling at you instead of just telling it to you.
It's a little more aggressive.
Yeah, it's like putting your dreams in a bad mood.
So it could still be the same messaging. It's not like that message gets
just a little
up.
harsher. Yeah, you're not going to lose the message. It just might come across not as gentle.
Great. Okay, that makes sense. One more thing before we move into dreams of other people. Is there anything that you should be concerned with your dreams, or things that have happened in dreams that you should be like, oh, I should look into that more, or any like crazy scenario that you've experienced with studying dreams that you want to relay to my audience?
I would say if you have chronic nightmares, then there is definitely an issue there you need to figure out. And if it's like a PTSD type nightmare that you're getting, that's an indication that you still haven't healed from whatever the trauma was that you've experienced. And I would find a therapist who has experience working with PTSD dreams, because you can overcome them. They can be a tangible tool. The dream itself can be a tangible tool to help you overcome the PTSD, which will then help you overcome the dreams. But any frequent nightmares are an indication that there's something disturbing or negative in your life that you have yet to correct, or to process or heal from.
Fascinating. Yeah, because can't you work with your subconscious then through your dreams to kind of maybe rework a trauma or something in that realm?
Yeah. Okay. So for example, using the PTSD dreams, and those dreams are usually like we're reliving what happened. And sometimes there may be some kind of weird symbolic elements to it, but the meat of what happened to us, of the trauma, will be the biggest part of the dream. So a technique that's very, very effective, and this has been particularly used with combat veterans who have PTSD. So they write down the dream in as much detail as they can. And then when they get to the point where it normally ends, they keep writing how they would like it to turn out.
Wow.
And they can, be creative with it, have fun with it, because it is dreamland. There's no rules. Or they can, rewrite it in a more logical, real life way. But you have to give yourself permission to do that, because you are giving yourself these dreams. And they're showing that you're stuck in some way. Like, when we used to have records back in the day, and they'd get a scratch and they play the same little piece of music over and over. That's what a PTSD dream is. It's a scratch on your record. So in order to clean and smooth out that scratch, you want to rewrite the dream, and you want to do it at bedtime before you go to sleep. Okay. And it's something you need to be consistent with and do several nights in a row. Sometimes it can work within the first few nights. Sometimes it might take weeks or months. But by rewriting the dream, you are basically reprogramming your psyche. And the subconscious will eventually get the message, like when we're kids and we're learning things, reading, writing, arithmetic. Repetition is the key to learning. Repetition is the key to reprogramming as well.
Fascinating. I actually have a perfect example of a PTSD dream that someone sent me. So basically she said 10 years ago, fall 2012, my sister and I were robbed at gunpoint walking home from a book fair at church. Terrible. And I kept having reoccurring nightmares about this. It went on for months straight, just replaying the scenario over and over again. From talking to my therapist, she said it was a sign of PTSD. But when I was 15, I didn't feel like I had PTSD because of those dreams. So yeah, if the dream expert could clarify if our subconscious dreams impact our mental health, and if so, how, that would be cool.
Yes. So I'm guessing she doesn't have this anymore.
It doesn't seem like she does.
Okay. Now, sometimes we can grow out of it. We just become desensitized to it. We've processed it. We've accepted it. We've moved on from it. But sometimes we don't. And especially depending on the severity of whatever the trauma is, it can be a lot harder than other traumas to get over. And we get stuck. The psyche gets stuck. The subconscious can't get past it, can't let go of it. So the rewriting is crucial, along with talk therapy. And yes, the question was, does it impact our mental health? Yeah, if you're getting a dream like this over and over again, it will impact your mental health, because your dreams are a brutally honest reflection of your mental health. So while you may not process or give it attention to or focus on during the day, it will come out at night because it's there. It
Yeah.
exists within you. And if you're not dealing with it during the day, and then once you go to sleep and your guard is down and you're no longer in denial or distracted, it rises to the surface. It says, okay, here we go again. We're going to try to figure this out.
Yeah. So it's doing it as a way to try to help you heal, but
yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's like a nagging mother who has to tell you the same thing again and again until you finally get it and say, okay, I understand. I'll work on this, mother.
Okay, mom. I love it. Okay. I have a bunch. So let's, if you don't mind, just go through them. Yes, I keep having dreams with a theme of not being able to breathe. Please help.
Oh, okay. So this could be a physiological thing. First of all, I would get a sleep study done and see if perhaps you have sleep apnea.
I feel like I have sleep apnea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know.
You wake up a lot, not being able to breathe. Also, if you wake up from the dream gasping for breath, then that's a good telltale sign of sleep apnea.
No, I wake up like,
oh, you snort awake?
Yeah.
I do that sometimes.
Yeah. So, or my fiance wakes me up like, come on.
It could be sinuses.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's allergy season, so I'm giving myself a little bit, but okay.
But also on the psychological level, if it's not sleep apnea and it's something else, then not being able to breathe in a dream would be an indication somewhere in your life you feel like you're being suffocated. Someone's crowding you or something, some situation you're feeling very constricted by. And when we get out of a very difficult or tense situation, we let out a big exhale because we can finally breathe.
Yeah.
So what's been going on for as long as you've been getting the dream that, makes you tense up every day? And so if you're able to connect the dots and then correct that issue, the dream will stop.
I love it. Next one says, I always have dreams that I'm struggling to do something urgent, like run really fast to get away, but I can't lift my legs, or try to take a picture of a celeb, in quotations, Joey from Friends, but I can't function getting the camera to work, or I have to pee, but I can't find clean stall, or all the stall doors aren't long enough so everyone can see me pee. A lot of things.
Yeah, there's okay. And they're probably all connected to different things.
Yeah.
So let's start with the pee dream because I get that one. Totally relate. The public bathroom dream. This one is particularly common for women. So the bathroom represents the part of your psyche. Remember, everything in your dream is some part of you. The objects in your dream usually represent an ability. The people in your dream represent a different part of your personality. Everything in your dream is a part of you. So the bathroom is the place in your psyche where you are able to relieve yourself of frustrations and negativity, cleanse away, that which is bothering you. The toilet in particular will represent your psychological plumbing. If you're unable to use it for whatever reason, it means that you're holding in some kind of frustration or negativity and aren't comfortable letting it out. And there's different elements. Specifics in a dream matter. Every little detail has a message. It means something. So if the bathroom dream is where it's public and for some reason you can't use the bathroom simply because you don't want to be seen peeing, then that would typically be connected to needing to relieve yourself of some kind of frustration or negativity, but you aren't because you care too much how it might make you look if you let it out. Or you're going to be labeled the B word or whatever. If the toilet is clogged or filthy or whatever, and you can't use it, then that's a little different. That means that you're just holding it in, and this is a behavior for years and you don't know how to release your negativity or frustration. So the dream is showing you this is what your psyche looks like when you hold in your shit instead of, speaking up about it or finding a healthy release for it.
So let something out.
When you change that behavior, the dream stops.
Love that. What do we think about they can't move their legs, but they want to take a picture of Joey from Friends?
Okay, so these are the same dream?
Yeah, I guess. Or maybe she had them all in one night, but same person. Yes.
Okay. All right. So your legs are your ability to stand up for yourself, as well as your ability to progress and move forward. That's what our legs allow us to do. When your legs are not working, that means that you are not progressing somewhere in real life. You don't feel you're making enough movement. Your subconscious is showing you you're probably not making enough movement towards some goal or moving on from something. In what way are you stuck in real life? So trying to take a picture of Joey is interesting. So celebrities, can mean different things. Without having her here to ask her, my first thought would be he's best known for being in Friends. So this dream may be connected to a friendship. Maybe she's trying to hold on, taking a picture. We take pictures to hold on to memories. So maybe she's trying to hold on to a friendship that she needs to walk away from or that she needs to stand up for herself in.
Wow. Fascinating. I keep having this dream that I'm about to get married. It's usually the day of the wedding and it's chaotic. The only thing that I can remember in the morning is the panic I feel about not wanting to marry the guy. The other thing about these dreams is that the guy I'm going to marry is just one big blur. Cannot remember anything about him in the morning. This dream has been happening for years. The weirder part is I have never been in a serious long-term relationship, so not sure where this dream is coming from.
Okay, this is a classic mystery groom dream. So you're not alone. A lot of women get this dream. So first of all, she mentions I'm not anywhere near ready to get married, not even dating. So remember, this is symbolic. So this isn't about an actual marriage or your future. This is about needing to commit. So that's what a marriage is. You commit till death do you part. So what commitment do you need to make that you're having a hard time making? The groom is a clue. He's not someone you actually know. He's just some mysterious, blurry man. Okay, so typically an unknown man in a dream will represent male energy. So in dream psychology, that we call that the animus, male energy, which is that part of you that can be assertive, stand up for yourself, go out and get that promotion, man up, handle your business, grow a pair, these terms we use. The dream brings it to life in the form of a man. And it's a blurry man because this is a part of herself she doesn't fully recognize. It isn't fully formed within her yet. So she probably gets this dream whenever there's something going on in her life where she needs to have a pair of balls, where she needs to man up, where she needs to be assertive, whatever the case may be. And it's always a wedding because this is a part of herself that she needs to fully recognize and commit to till death does she part.
Wow. You're a genius. Okay. I'm going to keep going. I'm getting married this October. And ever since I got engaged almost 2 years ago, I have been having horrible dreams about the wedding. I mean, like every dream I have includes our wedding is horrible. I either run into people that I didn't invite and they're mad at me, or I forgot to plan something. One of our most important aspects. It's just all bad. I can't understand why. I'm so incredibly happy with the man I'm marrying and I'm beyond excited for the wedding. So it makes no sense. I hope it's a sign. I hope it's not a sign of what's to come.
No, it is not. It's a sign that you are so, so very normal. When I call these dreams bride mares. So when the planning stages can be fun and exciting, but they are stressful as fuck. Yeah. So typically the more importance you put on the wedding being perfect and the bigger the ordeal is and the more elements there are to the planning and the big final day, the more stressful your dreams are going to become. For many women, it's the most exciting day of their life. They look forward to it since they're little girls, Yeah. And so here it is, around the corner and it's all coming together. And what if everything goes wrong? This day I've been dreaming of forever. So these dreams, in one aspect, they're probably helping you make sure you're on your toes and staying on top of everything and getting everything together. But they're also an outlet for unnecessary stresses. So if you can find a way to not put so much pressure on yourself to make this perfect and just enjoy the process and, whatever happens, it can be a good laugh and a great memory to tell your kids years down the road, let go of the stress and the need for it to be absolutely perfect. And then the dreams will let up.
I'm going to take that advice when I get closer to my planning process.
Okay, good.
I'm sure that will happen. I keep dreaming that I'm lost, sometimes in a building, sometimes in a town, and I'm always losing my purse or my keys in other dreams. It drives me crazy. Never the same dream twice, though. And in real life, I always know where my keys and purse are. So it's very strange to dream this.
Okay. All right. So the getting lost aspect, let's tackle that first because that's That's a big element. Usually when we're lost in a dream, it's because somewhere in our real life, we're feeling directionless. So it could be a career decision she's feeling directionless with. It could be in a relationship. What area of your life would you say the exact same thing to yourself? I don't know which way to go with this. That would be what the dream is trying to help you with. So she also always loses her keys and wallet.
In her purse. Yeah.
Oh, and purse. Okay. So this is a dream that you have in common with Mariah Carey.
Oh, wow. Word.
Right. So she gets this dream a lot. So your purse to your dreaming self will represent your identity, your credibility, your self-worth, because this is where we keep our credit cards, our ID, and our money. When you lose it, oh, and her keys also she loses. Okay, so that's another element to it. So when you lose your purse, you might be going through either an identity crisis in real life, perhaps struggling with, what do I want to be when I grow up, so to speak? I'm not happy at my job. Or maybe you're feeling undervalued somewhere in your life, or you feel like you've lost credibility somehow, or you're not getting the credit you feel you deserve. And then the keys, does she specify house key or car key?
I think it's like probably a key with all of them on there. Okay. She just said keys.
Okay, so the key would be about your ability. Remember, objects and dreams represent your abilities. A key is your ability to open up to others. So losing your key would be your subconscious very likely telling you need to find a way to open up about what is bothering you right now.
The last few minutes, I want to just do some quick hitting ones because I have a couple. Passenger plane crashing with me watching from the ground. This one has been driving me nuts.
So plane crashes usually happen when we've had a big letdown in real life. Something that plane is your ability, even if you're not in the plane, it's your ability to take off, reach new places, reach higher levels of, health, well-being, career, rising above. To see it crash could mean you've had some kind of letdown in some area where you were on the up and up. But the fact that she is not actually in the plane, but rather watching it, could mean that this is happening to someone very near and dear to her, or it has happened to her, but she's got the ability and the wisdom to step outside of the situation and see it for what it is.
Fascinating. Dreaming of rats or being attacked by rats.
Okay.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. So rats and mice and rodents in dreams will usually represent something that's been gnawing away at us.
Oh.
So if you're being attacked by it, and there's more than one. So the more there is of something in a dream, or the bigger something is in a dream, the more of an issue it is to you in your real life. So also being attacked can mean that she's feeling under attack in some way by someone around her, a friend, a parent, a partner, that they're all over your body. This could be an issue with your body that you're having with yourself. That's annoying you, that's gnawing away at you. And, we women are so hard on ourselves about our body.
Yeah.
So that's what it could be.
Fascinating. My jaw gets locked and my teeth crumble in my mouth and I choke on them.
Oh, gosh. Okay. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Yeah.
So teeth dreams are so interesting, and they usually represent a communication issue in real life. If the most common teeth dream is where they're falling out and we're trying to or catch them or hold them, put them back in. And that's usually connected to saying something without thinking about it first, not having a filter, allowing something out of your mouth that should have stayed in there permanently. But she's got the opposite one where they break and she swallows them.
Yeah. They crumble and she chokes on them.
And she chokes on them. Okay. So again, this is a communication issue. Crumbling teeth, and I get this version too. My teeth sometimes shatter. So crumbling, broken teeth are connected to weak speech. So you may get this dream when you don't feel you held up your end of an argument, when you didn't make your point strong enough, or when you didn't speak up because you're choking on the teeth. And choking in a dream is about holding back words, choking on your words. So either you're not allowing yourself to speak up, or someone around you is causing you, like, you shouldn't speak up. They're holding you back in some way. So, if this is recurring, then this is either a recurring issue recurring behavior issue for you, or this has been an ongoing issue. And when
Huh.
you change that behavior, the dream will stop.
There you go. That's the key. Intruder in my house, and I grab my gun to defend myself, but it just won't fire. Dream this a lot.
Okay, so again, recurring dreams. Let's tackle that first. We get recurring dreams for two main reasons. It's either connected to an ongoing issue for as long as the issue continues, so does the dream. When the issue is resolved, the dream stops. Or it's connected to a recurring behavior pattern. Every time you exhibit the behavior, you get the dream connected to it. Change the behavior, the dream stops. So the intruder dream, and this is recurring, and she can't shoot her gun to stop the intruder. So the intruder would represent something that feels like an intrusion on your life, your peace of mind, something that's an intrusion to where you don't feel like your life is home sweet home anymore. You've got a gun, but you're unable to use it. Your gun is your ability to protect yourself from whatever this is that feels like an intrusion in your peace of mind. So your dream is trying to show you you're not doing a very good job of handling this situation. So it could be, you need to speak up about it, or you need to change something in your behavior, or get someone out of your life. The dream keeps happening because the issue hasn't been resolved, because your gun, your ability to protect yourself and your best interests is not working. You're not doing a good job at this. Change your behavior.
Love that.
I hope I didn't sound like I was scolding her.
Oh, no. I think it's just like quick love.
Yes, there you go. I like that.
Reoccurring alien invasion dreams.
Ooh, okay. So aliens usually come into our dreams when we're dealing with something in real life that feels alien to us, foreign to us, something we've never encountered before. So if she keeps getting this dream, or then there must be something that keeps happening that they've not dealt with, and they need to familiarize themselves with it so that they can better handle it.
I've seen this one quite a lot, that they're expecting a baby, that they're pregnant. I think I've had a pregnancy dream at some point recently. And then I wake up and I'm like, okay, I feel I'm not pregnant. But what is that usually?
Okay, so if you get a pregnancy dream and you're not actually pregnant or trying to get pregnant, then that pregnancy represents something in your life that is in the growing and development stage. The most common cause of this dream is when you're working on a degree. But, perhaps you've got a side hustle, a business you're trying to grow, something that once it reaches a certain level, it will result in a new life. Just as a pregnancy, when it runs its course, the end result is a new life. So your dreaming mind is showing you this thing that's growing and developing in the form of a pregnancy, because once it gets to the point it's supposed to get at, it will become a new life for you.
So it's like keep following that thing that you're working on, maybe?
Yeah, pregnancy dreams are usually good.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully I'll have some more of those. When my husband's always cheating, I get this one too. My fiance's cheating, or he'll get ones where I'm cheating. What's that about?
Okay. This is probably the dream I get asked about more than any other dream.
Yeah.
It's so common. So, well, first of all, if there is infidelity in your past, then if it's within your current relationship and you're getting this dream, then that shows that, the remnants of that painful event are still there and need to be healed. If you've got infidelity from a previous relationship, but not in your current one, and you're getting this dream, it could mean that the distrust is still there, and you want to be careful not to bring it into your current relationship, because it's not fair to your current partner. But if there's not infidelity, and this seems to be coming completely out of left field, then it means that there is something in your relationship that feels like a third wheel. Now, it's not necessarily another person, but more likely another thing that your partner is giving their time and attention to, like working really long hours, or maybe there's a new baby, and that's sucking up all the time and attention. Or maybe the man cave, or maybe their fantasy football, something that's causing you to feel left out, causing you to feel cheated out of that time and attention you feel like you should be getting. So these dreams can be actually really good for a relationship, because they're shining a light on something that's bothering you that maybe you haven't really focused on or brought up.
I love that. Any natural disaster dreams, like tornadoes, tsunamis, those type of dreams?
So tornadoes is the most common natural disaster dream we get. Even those of us that live in Florida and deal with hurricanes,
Yeah.
tornadoes are still the most common dream.
Fascinating.
Yes. So weather in dreams, and I, by the way, have a whole chapter in my book, Dream on It, Unlock Your Dreams, Change Your Life, on weather and dreams. There's also a whole chapter on nightmares, a whole chapter on sex dreams, covers everything.
Yeah, I wanted you to plug your books. That's perfect.
Okay. So weather in dreams usually represents your emotions, because your emotions are the weather of your mind. It's ever changing. And we often use weather terms to describe emotions. Oh, sunny and cheery, or gloomy and dark, So tornadoes are usually connected to worry and anxiety that's beginning to spin out of control. So people who have frequent tornado dreams also tend to be proud card carrying members of the worrywart club. So if you describe yourself as a worrywart, odds are you also get tornado dreams. And so the subconscious is showing you the destructive force of worry in the form of a tornado. So you can better understand what you're doing to your psyche by allowing yourself to worry so much about it. And it's usually worrywarts tend to worry about things they have no control over.
Yeah.
Oh, the economy. Oh, this. Oh, the war in Ukraine.
Yeah.
They worry about things that there's nothing you can do about it. So if you can find a way to let go and let God, as they say, just let it go, those dreams will stop.
Beautiful. I've heard this one as well. Commonly, a parent passing away in a dream.
Okay. So if you are not at the age where your parents are getting up there and you get that dream, then it's usually because something either with your parent or your relationship with your parent is dying, changing. Death in dreams is usually about something changing or ending in real life, because death is the end of life, right? But to the dreaming mind, death is the end of life as you now know it. So when you dream of someone close to you dying, first ask, is my relationship changing? Is there something about our relationship that's coming to an end? Or is that person just going through some kind of change? And odds are, yeah, that's why you're getting the dream. So that the death dream allows us to let go of that which is no longer viable, so we can embrace the change and whatever is to come.
Oh, this one's saying being chased by large dinosaurs. It's a reoccurring dream I've had since I was 8.
Being chased. Okay. Well, this could certainly be caused by the Jurassic Park movies.
True.
But dinosaurs, the main thing about dinosaurs is that they are extinct. They no longer exist. So she could be getting this dream when there's some situation that is now over and no longer exists, but she's still allowing it to bother her, which is why it's chasing her. Maybe she's, some people have a hard time letting things go.
Pit of snakes, and then sex dreams again with blurry face. But I think you touched on sex dreams, which are fascinating.
Okay, so a pit of snakes. Usually snakes represent a toxic person in our life. Snakes are poisonous. Usually it's not always, but usually it's a male, because hence the shape of the snake is very phallic.
Oh, wow. Yeah. We're so interesting the way we think.
Right? And so a pit of snakes. Now remember, the more there is of something in a dream, or the bigger something is, the more of an issue it is. So the pit of snakes could be her subconscious trying to show her how much this is just a pit of toxicity you're dealing with here. Or maybe there are many, many toxic people she's dealing with. Maybe she has a really horrible family, toxic work environment. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. I'm driving and my brakes don't work. I can't stop.
I just covered this on my TikTok channel yesterday.
Perfect. We have to follow you on TikTok.
Yeah. Lauri, the dream expert, Lauri.
Love that.
Okay. So the car is your ability to progress, to move forward in life, or to move forward down a particular path you've chosen. When your brakes don't work, that's an indication that somewhere, some path you're on, something in your life is beginning to get out of control and you need to put the brakes on it. And your dream's showing you're not doing a good job of doing that.
Last two. Nightmare in a box, and I can't get out no matter how much I push. So she's stuck in a box. So
you very likely have some area of your life where you feel trapped. Where do you feel like you don't have enough movement, enough freedom? Where are you feeling boxed in? Are you in a relationship that's smothering you? Or are you the one keeping yourself in a box? Always turn the dream on yourself. because we can be our own best friends and our own worst enemies and our biggest critics, and and we usually are the ones that hold ourselves back more than anyone else does. So, is there some area where you really want to break free and express yourself, but maybe you're keeping yourself in the box because you're afraid or insecure, or, something like that?
Last one, the common dreams of falling. This one is falling from a cloud. She said when she was younger, and then she wakes up bouncing on the bed.
Oh, okay. So falling dreams usually happen when we've kind of like the plane dream, when we've had some kind of letdown in real life. Interesting, she falls from a cloud. So, when we're feeling really good about something, we say, oh, I'm on cloud 9. So this could be, she gets this dream whenever something has just really let her down, or maybe just this exciting feeling or exciting situation's over, and then it's the drop, the emotional drop. We'll also get falling dream. People who suffer from depression get falling dreams. And it's usually a heads up from the body and the subconscious that get ready, you're about to fall into another bout. So prepare.
Wow.
But I like that she bounces on the bed in her dream, because that's a good sign that she can easily bounce back from a letdown.
There's there's a soft landing there.
Yeah. She's got a good head on her shoulder. She can handle it.
Love that. Okay. Lauri, any last piece of advice for us wanting to learn more about our dreams or dive deeper into this? You said your book, like any practices, or how do we move forward after hearing all this amazing, beautiful stuff you just gave us?
Yeah. So you can get my books available everywhere. Dream on it, like sleep on it, dream on it, unlock your dreams, change your life. You can also set up a reading with me. We'll get on the phone and go very, very deep into your dream. My site is lauriloewenberg.com, but Lauri Loewenberg is kind of hard to spell. So if you just Google Dream Expert, I'm the first one that comes up. Also, quick tip on how to get the most out of your dreams on your own if you don't have time to talk with an expert such as myself. You want to journal, keep a day journal in tandem with a dream journal. Okay. And keep it in a spiral bound book, just because it's easier to fold back and write. When you go to bed at night, write down your day on the left side. You're going to write down your day. You're going to write down your biggest struggle. You're going to write down what you accomplished. You're going to write down your conversations. You're going to write down what was on your mind the most, what you felt the most, even any TV show you watched. Write all that down. Go to sleep, have your dreams. When you wake up in the morning, remember, don't move, stay put, give yourself 3 to 5 minutes, quiet still time. And then you're going to write your dreams on the right side of your journal. Even if it's just a piece of a dream, write that down. Or if you've got a lot of dreams, try to fit them all on that right side. That way you have your day and your dream right next to each other. So then you can more easily connect the dots between what happened in your dream. You'll see similarities. You'll see how your day affects what you dream at night, and how your dreams comment on what you did that day. So if you had a dream that you were attacked by a bear, you might see, oh, okay, I had a fight with my mom on the phone yesterday. And then you'll start to see patterns. Maybe every time you talk to your mom on the phone, you dream of getting attacked. And that'll show you a very clear dynamic of your relationship. So that's like one of the best things you can do for yourself.
That's amazing. That was such a good tip. I'm going to have a separate dream journal now. I love it. Can you please drop again where everyone can follow you, find you, all of that good stuff?
Yeah. So I've got a few social medias. My Instagram is WTF_ did I just dream? What the fuck? Did I just dream? My TikTok is Lauri the Dream Expert, Lauri, Lauri the Dream Expert. I'm on Facebook. My fan page is Lauri Loewenberg, Lauri. It's hard to spell. You'll find me.
Yeah, I'll link everything.
Okay, and I have one more. My pinup site. I'm also a pinup artist.
Yes.
You can see. And I
Beautiful.
do that because my dreams are nagging me to death about it, and I finally listen. So I have on Instagram, pinups_by_Lauri. And once you type in pinups_, I come up, then you can see my pinup art.
Yes. Okay. You are fascinating and so smart. And I loved this conversation. So I'll link all that below for everyone. But thank you so much for this. This was amazing.
I had a wonderful time. Thanks for having me on, and sweet dreams.